Allie.
I'm Annie.
And I'm Mahtob.
Alright, so now we have 3 of our other classmates. We have Steven, Simon, and Jake. And we're going to ask them what they know about the water cycle. So guys, what do you know about the water cycle?
So, starts out,
Rain.
yeah, gets evaporized. It's not a word.
I mean, water.
Gets condensed into the clouds. Clouds. Rain.
Oh, rain.
Rain. And
Precipitate.
it washes down the mountain. It gets caught in leaves sometimes.
Oh,
In animals.
Sometimes in animals.
Yeah. It's on a lake, down a hill.
Hey, back off.
Then it goes back into the ocean.
Yeah. Fish.
Then it evaporates again and gets condensed.
Yeah.
Alright, so Brian, what do you know about the water cycle?
That water evaporates, goes up into the atmosphere, and it precipitates and can condense through condensation.
Okay.
Thank you.
The water cycle consists of evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Evaporation is when the sun heats up the water in oceans, rivers, lakes, etc., and the water vapor turns into steam. The water vapor that was created by the oceans, lakes, rivers, etc., goes into the air.
The water vapor in the air gets cold and changes into liquid. This is when it forms clouds. This is also an example of condensation.
Collection is when the water falls back to the earth as precipitation. It may fall back into oceans, lakes, or rivers, or maybe end up on land. When it ends up on land, it will either soak into the earth and become part of the groundwater the plants and animals use to drink, or it may run over the soil and collect in the oceans, lakes, or rivers when the water cycle starts all over again. As you can see, half of the dirt is dry and the other half is wet. This part is dry and this part is wet, and this is an example of collection.
Precipitation is the act of water coming down from the clouds in the form of rain, snow, maybe hail, maybe sleet.
Precipitation is when there is so much water that is condensed in the air that the air cannot hold it anymore. The clouds get heavy and water goes back to the earth in forms like rain, hail, sleet, and snow. And as you can see here, this is an example of precipitation. Rain on the umbrella. The water cycle keeps occurring over and over again. In the plant and animal cells, they are unified because they both have a nucleus. But they are also different because the plant cell has a cell wall. Okay. And the animal cell does not.
Okay, what do you know about the transfer of energy?
What do you mean?
Like, give us your
Like
best
it's a food
definition
chain.
or an example.
Food chain.
Give us an example.
Well, the sun comes down and it goes to the producers. The producers are eaten by the first consumers, which are eaten by the second consumers, which then die and they are decomposed by the decomposers. And
Decomposed by the decomposers.
it goes back up.
Alright,
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
This is an example of the transfer of energy. My brother eating. He got this from a strawberry, which is a producer. It's strawberry flavored yogurt. That means that it's 10% energy going into my brother. How does it taste, Brett? Do you feel the energy going through your body?
Yeah, I feel it through my veins.
Good.
Alright, so we have one of the English teachers here, Miss Mason, and we're going to ask her what she knows about photosynthesis.
Just in general?
Yeah. What's photosynthesis, Miss Mason?
Well, okay, it has to do with light, hence the photo. I know it has to do with plants, and they use, if I'm not mistaken. They combine water and sunlight in order to produce chlorophyll, which is the food for the plants. Is that right? I don't know. You don't know?
I don't know about the chlorophyll part.
I think that's right. Are we close?
And photosynthesis is an example of transfer of energy from the sun to plants.
Thank you, Miss Mason.
Thank you.
If you want to know how a plant grows, it takes water, air and sunlight and makes cellulose. Every plant can do this fundamental process, and we can call this photosynthesis. Unlike me and you, plants need CO2, and they make oxygen that stops us turning blue.
Oh no, she fainted!
What do you think's wrong with her?
I think she has a fever, which means her enzymes must be denaturing.
Wait, what are enzymes?
Enzymes catalyze reactions in the body. Catalyze is to speed up. Without enzymes, we would not be alive. And if the enzymes denature, that would be because of temperature and pH level. And if they denature, then they cannot fit into the substrate, and therefore they cannot be used. The structure of the cytoplasm is that it has cytosol.
Of a ribosome is that it's made out of amino acids. The function is that it makes proteins. And they're related because amino acids are part of the building blocks of proteins.
The mitochondria structure is it has a lot of surface area. The mitochondria function is that it makes ATP. The structure meets function because the more surface area that the mitochondria has, the more room it has to make ATP.
Okay, now we're going to go into class and see an example of biodiversity. Notice how we're all humans, but some of us are boys and some of us are girls.
Wait. Hey, Allie.
And some of us have different capabilities than others. Another example of unity and diversity is DNA. This is because DNA is in every organism, and each organism can have different characteristics. Let's take a human and a fish, for example. They both have DNA, however, they also have different characteristics. A fish has gills, and a human obviously doesn't, and they both have different ways of reproducing.
In a human's body, organs are organized into systems. For example, there's the nervous system and the circulatory system. Organisms are organized into taxonomy. Taxonomy is discipline of classifying organisms and assigning each organism a universally accepted name. For example, there's kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. And the organisms that are classified into these different levels are all similar and different at the same time. The order that I just said this in was from largest to smallest. In an ecosystem, animals are organized into 3 different types. These 3 different types are community, individual groups, and population.
Alright, so this is one of our classmates, Myron Schneider. Myron, can you tell us anything about homeostasis?
Yeah, homeostasis is when 2 plants reproduce.
Are you sure that's what homeostasis is?
Positive.
Homeostasis is the process by which organisms maintain a relatively stable internal environment. For example,
Driving hands. You know what's really weird? What? Why we urinate and stuff? What's up with that? Oh, you know they're kidneys, right? What? Yeah, the kidneys, they take in blood from your body and they remove the waste products. And the waste products what you pee out in the toilet. Oh my god, what does that even mean? It's an example of homeostasis. Whoa. Are you
It means that your body temperature is too low, and that allows nerve impulses to be sent to the skeletal muscles.
Oh, really? Wow.
It warms you up when you shiver.
Really? I didn't know that. Oh no, it's that Allie. No way, girlfriend. What you did last night was truly just a stupid move. What? You know what you did. Don't even get me started.
My spleen.
What's even a spleen anyway?
It clears the red blood cells in your body. It's an example of homeostasis.
Oh, snap.
She is sweating a lot. This is an example of homeostasis because it's cooling her body down when she's very hot. Sweat.